Okay, boys and girls, welcome back. We're on our second part of the lesson, and you are going to need your math book and turn to page 375. You will also need a pencil and you will need a crayon. Okay, in the previous video, we talked about taking our circles and rectangles and dividing them into equal shares. So on these pages, we're going to practice doing that again. All right, so let's take a look at number one. Number one says we are going to make two halves, and we're going to show different ways. Shade half of each rectangle. So you have 4 different rectangles here, and you need to show me 4 ways that you can divide your rectangle into halves. And remember that halves means that we have 2 parts. Okay? So I'm going to do one. So I'm going to divide it vertically. Okay, and then we need to shade a half of each rectangle. So I'm going to shade in just a half. Okay, all right. So now you need to see if you can come up with 3 other ways that you can divide your rectangle into halves. I'm going to do one more here. So I'm going to divide it horizontally, and then I'm going to shade in a half. So I'm going to shade in one piece. Okay? Okay, so I want you to do the other 2. Again, you're going to stop your video to do the work before you go on to the next one, okay? Okay. You could also have divided, if you didn't, you could divide diagonally this way and diagonally that direction. So check to see if you had done that. Okay, good job. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Now we're going to do the same thing with these rectangles, but we're going to make 3/3, and we're going to show different ways to do that. Okay? So I can divide it into thirds like this. And color in a third. So I'm going to color in a third. So I'm going to only color in one part. It doesn't matter which part that you color in. Okay? And then let's take a look at the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to divide it into 3 parts. So I'm going to go horizontally now. And I'm going to color in that part. Okay? All right, we're not going to worry about the other 2 rectangles. All right, they gave you more rectangles than what you needed. All right, let's take a look at number 4. Okay, number 3. Now we have different shapes of a fourth of the same rectangle. So we're going to make 4/4, and we're going to show different ways. Remember, I showed you all kinds of different ways when we were using our small rectangles. So you have 8 rectangles here that I want you to show me some different ways. So I'm going to do a couple of ways with you, and then you can do the rest. What you need to do when you make them is, again, you want to make sure that each part is the same size and the same shape. Okay, so I could do it vertically. I could do it horizontally. Make it look like lined paper. And again, it doesn't matter which part you shade in. Okay, and I'm going to show another way. Make it like a tent. Okay, so I would like you to stop the video and then finish making the fourths. And then when you're finished doing that, start the video again. Okay, boys and girls, now on the back of our paper, we are going to, this time we're going to have some squares, and we're going to show some equal shares. So in number 4 at the top, we are going to show different ways to make 2 equal shares. So we're going to make halves. So we want 2 equal shares. Okay, so kind of like when we did with our bigger rectangle, I'm going to divide it in half, vertically, excuse me. I can go horizontally. And how else do you think we could do our squares? That's right, we could do the diagonals. Okay, then it tells me that they want us to shade half of each square. So I'm going to shade half. Okay, now we're going to look at number 5. Again, stop the video whenever you need to, if I'm going too fast for you. All right, number 5, we're going to make 3 equal shares. So we're going to show some thirds. And again, they gave you 2 extra squares, so we're only going to make 2 different ways. There's only 2 ways that we can do this. I can divide it vertically and horizontally. And then I'm going to shade a third. So that means I'm going to color in one part. All right, now let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, we're going to show 4 equal shares with our squares. So just like we did with the rectangles. All right, so I'm going to divide it in half this direction, and then I'm going to go horizontally in half. I have 4 parts. Okay, now this next one I'm going to divide vertically. All right, and I'm going to do one more. This one I'm going to go across in half, and then I'm going to go from the diagonal to that point, and then I'm going to go diagonally here. So it's kind of like a sideways tent, or like a beak on a bird. And I'm going to color in 1/4. Okay, so I would like you to come up with other ways to do that. So stop the video and finish. All right, now for the next ones, we are going to take a look at some circles. We're going to do just like we did when we were folding our circles in the earlier video. All right, so I'm going to make 2 equal shares. So I'm going to draw a line, and it doesn't matter where you could make your line go vertically, you can go diagonally, or not diagonally, horizontally. I just kind of went to the side. I drew from one side of the circle to the other. Okay, and then we're going to shade a half. All right, now in number 8, we're going to make 3 equal shares. Remember, I showed you kind of find where the center might be of your circle. Draw a line going down. And remember, this is like that big Y. So I'm going to draw a line this direction and a line this direction. So I got a big Y in the middle. It's kind of like a peace sign. Upside down peace sign. Okay, and I'm going going to shade a third. And then I'm going to make number 9 4 equal shares. Oops. So I'm going to go line across and a line going down. And then shade in a 4th. All right, now let's take a look at number 10. We're going to use our drawing. We're going to use drawings 1, 2, 3 to explain why the blue and yellow shares are equal. All right, so we're going to use that to explain why the blue and the yellow parts are equal. So let's fill in the blanks to correctly complete it. I know equal shares are the, so when I look at that, how do we know that they are equal? Look at that. How do we know that this yellow in number 1 and the yellow in number 2 are the same? They are the same shape and the same size. Okay, let's look at the blue part. How do I know that the blue in number 1 and the blue in number 2 are the same? That they are equal? They too are the same shape and the same size. Even though this one is divided into 2 smaller parts, if I put them together, they would be the same size and shape as this one. Okay, so let's fill in the blank. So I know equal shares are the same shape if I can place one share exactly on, what do you think? On top of another shape. So if I cut this blue piece out and put it on top of this, it would be exactly the same. Okay, so I might have to rotate or flip the share. So it might have to be where I might have to take that piece and turn it, flip it over, rotate it, turn it. But as long as it will sit on top of it and it's the same size and the same shape, they are equal shares. Okay, we'll talk more about this another time. So if you want to practice some more with the other shapes, you can keep practicing on making some equal shares. Have a good day.